Okay, so somebody recommended a classic Amitabh Bachchan film. And you know, when it comes to Big B, I'm going to honor that request. Okay, so the Big B film, the classic film that I'm going to review, is 2004's Dev. Now, this has been on my list for a long time, but I haven't been able to find a version with English subtitles, and I finally found it. I had to pay for it, of course, but I did find it. And this was recommended by a new maniac at Udit Nath 5272. So thank you for that. This film is directed by Govind Nihalani, and the cast, the amazing Amitabh Bachchan, who I've seen, I can't even tell you how many films, Pink Chalet, The War, amongst a ton others. I love him. Om Puri, who is in A Death and Gunj, Gael once again, Bajrangi Baijan, Fardeen Khan, who is in Hey Baby, Boot, and Force, my Hindi crush, Kareena Kapoor, a very young Kareena Kapoor. Jab We Met, Three Idiots, Omkara, and 90% of the song reactions I do feature Kareena Kapoor. Yes, yes, yes. I got a thing for her, and I wish she watched my channel because I would love to message her because I love her. I have a wife, and I'm happy with my wife. Don't get me wrong, but Kareena Kapoor, come on, come on. Amrish Puri, who Badhai Ho, Gadar, E.K. Prem Katha, Dilwali Duhania. And in this film, doesn't do the bug eyes once. You know what I mean? Not once in this film. Uh, La La Jayenge? No. He was in, oh, I see, Diwali Duhania, DDLJ, sorry, separate line. Rati Agnihotri, who was in Kante, and Ashan Khan, who was in Gadar EK Prem Katha, Gadar 2, Krish 3. Before I get to the review, let's do some Maniac movie factoids. Factoid number one. First time Amitabh Bachchan and Om Puri appeared in a film together. Why, you ask? Why was it surprising? Because Om Puri is not a fan of Amitabh Bachchan. In fact, in 1985, Puri said he had no respect for an actor like Bachchan, whose salary is 1/4 of the film's budget. And he doesn't think that helps all the crew and the rest of the cast and all that other stuff. So that's why people were surprised that they agreed to do this movie. Listen, supply and demand. If you can get it, why not get it? It was Kareena Kapoor's idea for the name of Fardeen Khan's character, Farhan Ali. I don't know why the director listened to her, but he did. Kareena Kapoor's song Job Nahin A is the first song she sang in her career. Long career, wonderful career, lustful career. Fardeen's father, Faraz Khan, also an actor, never got a chance to act with Bachchan in a film, so he was thrilled that his son was able to. And that are the factoids. Now let's get right to the review. This is as I'm watching this film, and of course I read reviews after it, but this film was hard to understand which side of the fence between Muslims and Hindus did this movie fall on. Because there were times in this film that I thought it was really anti Hindi and pro Muslim. And then it kind of flipped and became pro Hindi and anti Muslim. But it was really interesting the way it, well, interesting. It was confusing because it's a Hindi film, but it was really tough on Hindis and really made the Muslims the victims of a lot of what was happening. Because the story is basically how Hindus and Muslims are trying to get along and coexist. But there are factions on both sides that do not want that to work. And Amitabh Bachchan's character, Dev, who is probably the most honest cop in the film, is also not a great guy for some of the stuff he does. So there weren't a lot of, I don't want to say likable. That's not there weren't a lot of characters that you could root for in this film. Now, ultimately, you end up rooting for Dev because of all the forces going against him. So the story is, that's the story. How do they coexist, and the plans to break the two groups apart, to create chaos, to create riots, and how can Dev stop that from happening when the people he reports to want it to happen because they want to put these Muslims down. And it's the struggle uh, of what's the right thing to do. Because there's a character played by Fardeen Farhan, whose father is a Muslim who believes in peaceful protesting. In fact, he says he reads Gandhi, and he's very pacifist. And there's another guy in this, and I think I wrote his name down. He's the bad guy, who, by the way, never gets his comeuppance. Ashan Khan plays Latif. He's working against the peaceful protests to start trouble, so that the Indian police will have to respond with violence. And what happens is there's this big protest where they're trying to keep it peaceful, and Bachchan is saying, "Give me a list of your demands. I'll bring it to the CM." No, we want to see him face to face. Now everyone starts getting riled up. Now the guys working for Latif start throwing stuff at the cops, including Molotov cocktails. So now the cops got to shoot into them, and they kill Farhan's father. He wants to go on the warpath and become I can't say it. It rhymes with rarerist. You can't say it because of the algorithm. So he's on that path to kill Dev. And at one point, actually attempts it. Now, as he starts to see Latif's true colors and he falls in love, that starts to change. And now he wants to do the right thing. And there's also, and this was the one thing that I got a little confused about, because Om Puri, I thought, was playing Dev's father. But about 3/4 of the way, he was really just a good friend, kind of a mentor to Dev, who's also a cop, but higher up than Dev. He's working against Dev and actually arranged to have him killed, and ultimately kills him. And so he's not a good. The CM, played by Puri, not Puri. Yeah, Amrish Puri. Amrish Puri, who, by the way, plays the CM, has like 5 scenes. One going into a building, and then 4 scenes at the same desk every scene in the movie. They come to this desk, they talk to him, and then they leave. That's all he does. But he's a bad guy. So he's working with Om Puri to put these Muslims down. And ultimately gives the go-ahead to kill Dev, which is a pretty horrific scene on the steps of the courthouse as he's going to testify. And he ends up saving Farhan's life. And then the last scene of the film is Farhan going to court, walking the same steps where he was killed, and you still see the blood. So that's the story. And I thought the story was really good. It was a little confusing because, again, I can't say it didn't take a side, because at certain points it absolutely took a side. At one point, it was completely pro-Muslim, anti-Hindu. At another point, it was pro-Hindu and anti-Muslim. And maybe that was the point of it. So it's a little confusing depending on which side you're on. Now, I'm sure there are people on either side who say, well, no, it's black and white, right? I think the point of this movie was it isn't black and white. At least that's what they're trying to get across. So I really liked the story, even though I did find it a little confusing, but I was into it. Now, I will also say this about the film. It's a very talky film. There was a few action scenes for sure, but it's mostly people talking about the conflict between Muslims and Hindis. That's I would say 75% of the film, if not more. So know that going into it. Slow burn for sure. But I gave the story an 8. I liked it. It really got me interested in this, trying to understand from both sides why they feel the way they feel. Now, there were definitely bad guys on both sides who weren't trying to work it out. They just wanted it to be over between the two. But there were others that, while still feeling that way about each side, were trying to be a little more open to working together because it's the only way we're going to survive. So I appreciated that. Now, some great scenes. The one I already mentioned, the peaceful protest that turns into a riot. It's a slow build too. You can see what's happening, and the father's trying to say, no, don't do this, don't do this. And Bachchan's on his megaphone, don't do this, don't do this. But they do it, and it gets pretty rough. And the cops at that point got no choice. They're being firebombed, so they got to fire into the crowd, and it was very chaotic. So I really like that scene. Another great scene is Dev, and this was a lot of what the movie was. Dev and Tej, played by Om Puri, are debating the Muslims, describing them, what they're like, and why certain things have to be done. And there's one point where Tej is talking about the Muslims, and Dev says, so basically what you're saying is, Tej says they should all be shot. And Dev, Amitabh Bachchan, says, Heil Hitler.
Heil Hitler.
So that's his stance on and where Tej was. So I loved that. Another great scene. Farhan, they give Farhan an explosive device, unbeknownst to Farhan, who's supposed to drive to a temple in a motorcycle holding this package that has the explosive in it. And they're gonna create a distraction, they called it. And this was the Muslims, Latif. And they get sidetracked, and through circumstances, the explosive device goes off earlier than it was supposed to. A lot of people get killed, but not nearly as much as would have. And Farhan sees this, and in the scene where he's dealing with all the dead bodies, and he also realizes that this was meant for me too, because they didn't tell me there was an explosive device in it. I thought that was a great scene. And then there's this scene that goes on for 10 minutes where Hindus are attacking the Muslim community and just ransacking the village. And that's one thing about the film. The sets look very stagey, not like real locations. And that was one of them. The set they built for the Muslim street, whatever it was, looked a little fake to me. But these Hindus go in there and they just ransack it, and they're attacking people, and it goes on for a long time, and it's just heartbreaking. That's what I mean about what side are you supposed to be on. In that one, you definitely weren't on the side of the Hindus. Another great scene with Kareena Kapoor, who's very young in this and not glammed up at all. Very little makeup, and obviously, we're talking 2004 or 2002, 2004. She's gorgeous, even without any makeup. She's gorgeous. But there's a scene where Dev is looking for a witness to what happened with this riot, but the word's already been put out by Latif. No one come forward because we have to turn this into something to go after the Hindus. So everyone's afraid. And he's up there asking for someone to come forward, and then all of a sudden, Kareena Kapoor's character walks all by herself, Aaliyah, through the mob and comes forward and explains what she saw. And it was great. And then it turns into the scene where Dev asks a question. If anybody saw this or anybody knows what happened, raise your hand. Because she's there all by herself. And Lateef is looking, like you can see in his eyes, she's going to die. Well, then one guy raises their hand. And another person raises their hand. Now Dev turns, because they're in this courtyard of this, whatever, apartment complex or whatever. So now he's facing this apartment with a bunch of balconies. And there's all people lined up on the balconies, and all of a sudden they all slowly raise up their hands. So now they're all raising their hands, and the music builds. It's a really powerful scene. It was great. Another great scene, when I say great, powerful scene, because it wasn't like, wow, that was great. It was awful. They burned this Muslim apartment complex. They lock everybody in and burn it. They pour gasoline on it and burn it. And Dev is told not to do anything by his mentor, Tej. And he's watching this. Finally, he breaks and just tries to free people, but the whole building is up in flames and people are diving out on fire. It was awful. And there's the last two scenes that I thought were great. And this is Amitabh Bachchan, masterclass in acting, but he comes home from this event and he's sitting with his wife. And he tells his wife what he just saw. That's all it is. It's a two shot. Every now and then they do a close up of him, but he's just saying what he saw. And if you turn down the volume and just watch his face, it tells you everything you need to know about what happened. It's powerful, powerful. And then finally at the end, and this was an interesting choice. There's a scene where Tej is hallucinating seeing Dev, the guy he assassinated. And it leads to him offing himself. But when Farhan goes to court and he's going to bring forward all the charges against everybody, expose everything that happened, it ends with a close-up of Amitabh Bachchan talking directly to the camera, explaining how we have to get along, we have to coexist. It's really powerful, and it's full frame, and it's just him. I thought that was really powerful. So, so those were the great scenes. So, performances, look, it's Amitabh Bachchan, then it's everybody else, right? At least I think so. And he's a different animal than everybody else. And it's a lot of him just explaining things. So so it's not an easy thing to do, but he does it. And Om Puri is, conflicted, not a good guy, but thinks he's doing it for the right reasons. Now, killing who he calls his son, basically. Does he think that was the right thing? Obviously not, because in the end, he pays the ultimate price by his own hand. Farhan, he was okay. I mean, he was okay. I could see someone else with a little more gravitas taking that role. I thought Lateef was a good bad guy, kind of cartoonish, but still good. Amrish Puri, for what he did, yeah, he was fine. And the female leads were good too, like his wife especially. I really liked his wife. But it's Amitabh Bachchan. If you're a fan of his, and he was great in this, I gave the performances an 8, and really on the weight of his performance. Now the music, and there wasn't a lot, and frankly, a movie like this probably shouldn't have music either. The first song is during the opening credits. Now there were no subtitles in the song, so I don't know what the lyrics were, but I liked the song. The second song is a love song where Farhan, who's come back to town, sees Kareena Kapoor doing laundry. It's a cute scene, and they're both love struck. She's trying to play it cool, but I thought that was good. Third song, she's in bed thinking about him. She's sleeping with, I guess, her sister, and she's just lying in bed thinking about him. It's a little fantasy scene. And then the final song, again, these weren't big Bollywood numbers either, not even close. Fourth song, he gets released after being held in prison for a few days. And she runs to him in slow motion, and she runs for a long time in the scene, and the music's playing in the background. So, the music was fine. It was a 5. It didn't hurt it. It didn't help it. I thought the music when the rioting was going on, or the chaos was going on, I really liked. It fit with the chaos of the scene. But the music was fine. Overall, I liked it. I liked the film. Like I said, it was a little confusing for me. I wasn't sure what side I'm supposed to be on. I don't think the film knew what side it was going to be on. And again, maybe that was the point of the film. They didn't want to take distinct sides. They wanted to show the nuance isn't the right word, but the confusion of how you're supposed to feel about this. And if in that regard, they definitely accomplished it because it wasn't black and white. It wasn't down the middle. It wasn't even down the middle. I can't even say that. There were certain points in the movie it definitely picked sides. So I think that was the point, right? But having said that, I gave it a 7. I liked it. Was it one of his better roles? No, he was good in it. But I've seen him do better stuff. But I still, he's great. He's great, and I'll watch anything he does. And his voice is just amazing too. Oh, I love that voice. But anyway, that's it. That's what I think about Dev. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. What did you think about this film? And what did you think about the message it was trying to send? Am I way off? Because I read the reviews after this, and a lot of people, it's propaganda, and it was both sides. It was Muslims and Hindus taking both sides that it was propaganda. So to me, that tells me the director accomplished what they wanted to accomplish, because both sides think they got screwed in this movie, and it's like, well, that means he did what he wanted to do. He wants you to think about this. Anyway, that's my take. That's my take from a Western guy who doesn't know anything. So again, let me know what you guys think. Listen, if you haven't already, if you're not one of the 4,320 maniacs that have subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, hit the notification button, hit the like button, and I'll tell you why. Because when you like it, when you comment, YouTube pushes out the video so we can create other maniacs just like you. All right, that's it. We'll talk to you soon on John Talks Indian Cinema with another movie review, a trailer reaction, or a song reaction. Thanks a lot. And as always, thanks for subscribing and your loyalty. You don't know how much it means. Thanks a lot.